I was wrestling one day and I turned around and John Cena was watching me.
So for the people who feel lost, what would be your advice to them?
Go all in on something. You just have to start because nothing's gonna change if you don't start.
If they want to start like toning, a lot of girls are afraid to use heavy weights because they're afraid, oh, am I gonna bulk?
Right.
But I've heard that's a myth.
So this might be a controversial take, and I'm curious your opinion on it.
What?
I was gonna say not at all. All right, welcome back to the Everyday Millionaire Podcast, where we interview ordinary people who took a bet on themselves and built something from nothing. Gina, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is your new place here, Fueled.
It is.
Right? Okay, cool. And you currently have a location open?
Yes, I have one location open in Cranberry Township.
Okay,
now.
very cool. Nice. So for those of you from Pittsburgh, you know where that is. And then this one will be opening
tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow, okay.
So April 7th, if you're listening to this.
Heck yeah. So whenever this podcast comes out, guys, Fueled will be opened in Wexford, so make sure to go check it out.
Have to.
Guys, yeah, so today's guest is Gina. So she's someone who didn't just build a business, but she completely rebuilt herself first. She went from struggling with childhood obesity to competing in bodybuilding shows, and now she's the founder of a high-protein cafe that's blowing up and opening a second location, as we just spoke about. Gina, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank
course.
you, guys.
And Joy, before we get into anything else, what is your go-to order at your shop?
I feel like it changes with the seasons because we're constantly updating our menu, depending on what produce is fresh at the time. But I would say my all-time go-to is the salted caramel protein shake.
Ah, okay. Very cool.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And guess, I will be buying that tomorrow, as you all should too.
Do you do that for post-workout?
Yes. Honestly, you could do it any time of the day, though.
Yeah.
All of our shakes have under 400 calories and over 30 grams of protein.
Oh, wow.
So you can even use it kind of as like a meal replacement or like a quick pick-me-up throughout the day. But a lot of people do come in post-workout to grab something.
That's awesome. So do you do like all natural ingredients?
Yeah, so everything's clean. We use grass-fed whey.
Nice.
We are completely gluten-free, so nothing in our cafe has gluten in it. And we focus on clean ingredients, whole foods, and minimal ingredients.
I love it. That's so cool. So obviously you have a pretty amazing fitness journey, right? But before we even get into that, before all this entrepreneurial stuff, like how did it all begin? Like tell us a little bit about your story and like your upbringing, where you came from.
Yeah. So I was born in Mars, Pennsylvania. So for those of you who are familiar with the area.
Shout out Mars.
A very, very lovely town. I was born into a family of entrepreneurs. So both my dad and my mom own their own businesses. So I feel like growing up, it's in my blood, basically. Like I grew up around it. It was kind of the norm to be working 24/7 and being called into the office at crazy hours and just I really admired my parents growing up for building their own companies, and I knew whenever I was younger I wanted to build something of my own. Moving forward, I was a terrible student. Like I did so bad in school. I almost didn't graduate because I skipped school so much.
No way.
Are you serious?
And it was because I just didn't want to go with the norm. I didn't want to go to school. I begged my parents whenever I was in second grade to just go to work with them. I just wanted to go to work.
So you were meant to be for this.
It's seriously in my blood, I think. But so fast forward, whenever I was in my teenage years, I struggled with being overweight. But at the same time, I was always obsessed with fitness in the gym. And I think my weight issues came from not being educated on nutrition. So with that being said, whenever I really started educating myself on nutrition, I had like a complete transformation whenever I went to college.
Wow.
I like lost close to 60 pounds.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I got in
Oh
like
my
the
gosh.
best shape of my life, and that's kind of where the whole like fitness journey started for me.
Oh my gosh.
And so
Yeah.
I saw too, you competed, like you said, so this wasn't just a casual fitness journey. You took it all the way to competing in the Clash competitions, correct?
Yes.
They say it?
Yeah.
So what is that journey like? Because I know people will see the final results of it, but the discipline behind that, like
Yeah.
a mix of, I'm sure, the workouts, what you eat. So could you talk us through that? Like how
Like
did
the
you take it?
bodybuilding journey.
Yes, that is incredible to me.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
I've done 3 shows now.
Wow. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. It is a lot of work, but it's so rewarding.
Okay.
I think with fitness and even in business in general, especially with fitness, like your body shows the work that you put in.
100%.
You know, there's no buying, well, you could buy, but you know what I mean? There's no like buying your body or like somebody giving you a body. Like you have to actually put in the work for that. So I think, you know, bodybuilding is an extreme sport, but I think going through that journey, it builds so much character, and also you get to see the work that you put in come to fruition, which
It's
is
so true.
amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I actually competed in a bodybuilding show. And
Did you?
Yes.
Yes.
In 2024,
Okay.
October, I competed in the OCB Pittsburgh
Oh, yeah.
Classic, I think it's called. And it was a grueling experience, to say the least. So that year in particular, I had 3 main goals: full marathon, bodybuilding competition, and a powerlifting competition. Ended up doing all 3.
Wow.
So the in-between, thankfully, like coming off of marathon prep, I was already like fairly lean, you know? So like I didn't have to cut a lot of body fat, but just like the discipline, to your point with nutrition, is so freaking difficult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The nutrition is the hardest part,
It
and
is the
also
hardest
the
part.
most impactful.
Yes.
Oh, totally.
Which one out of the 3 did you think was the most challenging?
That's a good question. I'd honestly say the bodybuilding competition. I'm not gonna lie. And
Really?
the reason I say that is just because there's so many outside distractions with the food, you know?
Oh.
And because right now I'm training for 2 marathons, and you can sort of kind of eat like whatever you want, you know, within reason. Generally, I'll eat pretty healthy, but like if you want to go have a couple cheat meals a week, like it's no problem. But when it gets
Right.
down to it, when you're, say, I don't know, 4 to 8 weeks out, depending on the bodybuilding competition, like there's no such thing as cheating a meal, you know?
Right.
Like you have to stay locked in. So I feel like the nutrition and discipline aspect was the hardest, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Especially down to like the last week when you have to cut out artificials.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, you mean I can't put like stevia in my coffee?
Yeah.
Like really?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all those little things, and it really does add up.
Totally.
How
Yeah.
did you transition after? Because I have friends and relatives who have competed in those competitions, and they always say they really struggle with going back to a normal but healthy diet after making those big cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advice for that, or how you went about that?
Honestly, I feel like that is even harder than the competition itself. You know,
Yes.
as a female especially, like you get to this stage lean presence, and it's like peak of the peak. You look phenomenal,
Yes.
and then you kind of not crash after, but like you're at that high,
Oh,
and then you
yes.
start, you know, looking more average. And for somebody that does a bodybuilding competition, like they don't really like average,
Oh,
right?
no,
So
no.
so it is kind of hard, and you just have to give grace to yourself, and also remember what season you're in. So like right now, my last competition was in November, and it's April now. I'm up like probably 10 pounds from my show weight, and yes, that's kind of hard mentally, but
That's really
also
hard.
also it's like, yes, but I'm living a healthy lifestyle now.
Of course.
I'm building a business, so like there's other things I need to focus on this season, and that's okay. So I
Totally.
think just reminding yourself what season you're in, and you know, the stage will always be there, but like right now I'm building so much bigger than something so much bigger than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. And I was actually just talking to you about this, how, for example, with bodybuilding and the whole, you know, fitness thing, people like yourself, right, become like hyper obsessive with
Yeah.
that, right? In terms of
Yes.
the dieting and how you look and whatnot. But I think it's also important to realize that, you know, stepping on stage or even the gym in general, although it got you to where you are today, like it doesn't make who Gina is. You know what I mean? Like you make who Gina is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Through whatever you do. And if that means sacrificing some time from the gym to build your business, then so be it. You know, like it's something that'll always be there, and it's something that's like really important, again, just to where you are today. So
And yeah, I totally agree. And also like being that stage lean is not healthy and not sustainable. So
Nope.
like I just want to tell everybody that like if you're seeing people on social media that are stage lean, it's for a tiny part of time. That's
True.
not how they're walking around day to day. And if they are, they probably feel like crap. Like
Yes. Yup.
it's not sustainable. And you know, right now just focusing on health I think is really important too.
100% agree. Yeah, I remember when I was like a couple days out for my bodybuilding competition. Generally, like I'm a pretty like high energetic, positive person.
Yeah.
And everything. A couple days out, like my family and my close friends, like they're like, dude, you are not yourself.
Yeah,
right
you
now."
literally turn into a shell of a human.
You do.
Yeah.
Probably
I had
angry.
somebody, I had someone tell me this, and it kind of like pushed me through the final week, but also was like, why am I even doing this? They were like, the worse you feel, the better you look.
True.
And I was like, you know, that sucks, but it is the truth. Like
Yeah.
you have no energy, you just are starving, and it's hard.
It's
but
so hard.
I will say, like, just being able to complete that and being disciplined through it is a really cool experience.
It 100% is.
And it's amazing that you've been able to translate, you know, your passion and discipline for fitness into your business now today. So I know you said that was kind of the inspiration, but when did that start? Could you take us back to through like college? Were you a business major, or like when did it all begin, I guess?
Yeah, so, you know, kind of going back to, like I said before, I always wanted to build something. I went to school for marketing. I was terrible at college, just like I was in high school. I just, you know, wanted to kind of get through it. And
For sure.
to this day, I've never really used my degree, but I will say like the experience of going through college really shaped me into who I am. I was competing in CrossFit while I was in college. So I, first of all, always wanted to start a brand, but also like I loved fitness and I loved performing. After college, I actually got recruited and went to wrestle for WWE.
No way.
Yeah, so I was...
That's crazy. Oh my god.
I don't know that. That's awesome.
Okay, yeah, so wait, tell us about that.
Yeah.
that was like a whole nother, I feel like that was a whole nother life of mine that I've lived,
Yeah.
was wrestling for WWE.
Okay.
In 2022, I had a tryout at WrestleMania in Dallas, and they basically tested everything, your athletic capacity, your ability to speak on camera, your acting skills, kind of just everything. And they picked 8 of us to sign and give contracts. And out of those 8, I was one of them. So I got my contract by Triple H. He asked me to pick up everything and move down to Orlando, Florida, and come train and wrestle to become a WWE superstar.
No way.
Yeah, so I was
awesome.
I was with them for about 2 years.
Okay.
It was like the craziest experience ever.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about myself. And one day I got a call that I was released. And sometimes in this business, it just happens. And they can
For
release
sure,
you with
yeah.
no reason why. So whenever that happened, I moved back home. And I kind of hit a little bit of a low. And I was like, what am I going to do with my life now? Because I thought that I was going to go wrestle and be this WWE superstar. And I got home and I was doing a little bit of like fitness and nutrition coaching on the side.
Nice.
And whenever I moved to Pittsburgh, I was like, there's no healthy options around here. So I was like, you know what? This is my sign. I'm just going to create something.
Let's
So
go.
my coaching, my fitness nutrition coaching was called Fueled by G. And I had been doing that for like 5 years up to this point.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call it Fueled and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just kept chipping away at it. And within like 3 months, I had opened the cafe, and to this day I'm still learning, still growing, and yeah, that's kind of
so-
a whole story of how Fueled was born.
That's so freaking cool.
I can't get over the WWE. That is so, it probably
Yeah.
feels like a fever dream to you that was even
Yeah.
part of your life. Like, that's incredible.
It does. I was actually just showing some of my employees my wrestling.
Oh my God.
And we were like laughing. They're like, Gina, I cannot see you doing this. And I'm like, I know. It was like a whole nother lifetime ago. But
Right.
it's still really cool to look back on.
Well, so then how did you even go about creating your menu at first? Were you just in your kitchen, like kind of playing around with stuff, or can you just take us through that? Because that's so fascinating.
So
too.
I have the biggest sweet tooth ever. Like,
Me too.
I'm not messing around when I say that. Like, I have the biggest sweet tooth. And I always, before bed, would make like a protein shake, but like make it into like a milkshake.
Sweet.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
basically like what our protein shakes are here. So everything that we have on our menu are things that I would eat and things that have helped me transform my body. So rather than eating a whole tub of ice cream at night, I would make a really good protein shake and kind of curb my appetite while also getting in my protein and making sure that it's clean and made with real ingredients. So everything that's on our menu are just things that I love, and I wanted to bring them to the community.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah.
I love that. And as someone with a sweet tooth myself, I'm having the healthy option. We're like, okay,
Right.
you still get that craving, but then the protein, it fills you, so then you're done for the night. That's a goal.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, before we continue with like some more business stuff,
Yes.
I'm still so curious about the WWE experience. 'Cause
Ask away.
I'm sure in those 2 years, you went
Yes.
through some pretty wild experiences.
Yeah, for
my
sure.
gosh.
So, just like an open-ended question. What is the craziest thing you experienced in the WWE? Like, what's the first thing that would come to mind?
The craziest thing I experienced.
Yes.
I was wrestling one day and I turned around and John Cena was watching me.
You're
Nuh-uh.
lying.
And
Are
I
you
was like,
serious?
oh my gosh, yeah.
That's
I was
insane.
very starstruck.
Oh my God.
That's
Yeah.
so crazy you say that. Random side story, but when I was living in Tampa, I think he's from there.
He is,
That
yeah.
makes sense because I was, on a walk and then I saw him sitting outside at a restaurant. I had to do a double take and I was like, what is he doing here? I cannot
Yeah.
believe he was watching you wrestle though.
Yeah.
That'd give me major stage fright.
I was like, you grow up watching him. Like, he was my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, like
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
kid.
Of course.
So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
But there are so many like crazy experiences.
It's interesting how WWE, like in the recent years, have become pretty mainstream
Yeah.
lately.
Totally.
You know, with like Logan Paul, I feel like joining kind of made a
Right.
big difference and like brought a whole new audience.
And
to
it being on Netflix now, and it's
Yes.
just so much more easily accessible.
100%. Because
Yeah.
before, was it all pay-per-view? Is that how it was, or no? It was just streamed.
It was
on
just-
regular TV.
Yeah, just regular TV.
Okay.
So, some of like the WrestleMania and stuff, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure were pay-per-view.
Oh,
nice.
Don't quote me on this though. I don't know. Whenever I was there, we were on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
So that was like 2 years ago.
Oh my.
But now
God.
they're on Netflix, so.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they've been streaming for a while though.
Wait, so was it only 2 years ago that you were in the?
Yeah, 2022 to 2024.
Wow. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that is crazy.
I know.
So how'd your I guess career for the time being, like, how'd it go? You know?
It was good. The training there was pretty intense.
I'm sure.
You were just wrestling every day. We had to go to like strength and conditioning. We had acting classes. So it was a really cool experience.
I bet.
Lots of injuries.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I feel like my neck is kind of still a little bit messed up from it,
Oh no.
but it is what it is.
Right.
I remember listening to a podcast with Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Impulsive, actually. Logan Paul's
Oh, yeah.
podcast. And by the way, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. What a legend.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying just like how insanely banged up his body is, like the age
Oh,
he
yeah.
was. Because he literally said he would go into matches being like a broken ankle or like arms all messed up, shoulder, like there was always something.
Right.
He said he was never 100% healthy.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So you
Was
were
it
saying-
similar
And then,
experience?
and like you don't want to say you're injured. Like you pretend that you're not, and then you
Right.
just keep going, and it makes
Exactly.
it worse because you have
Yes.
that like killer instinct, like
Yeah.
I want to get on TV, so I'm not going to tell anybody I'm injured.
Oh,
I'm just
that's
going to keep
true.
going, you know. But yeah, it's pretty brutal.
And then so obviously it's a pretty physical thing, clearly.
Yes.
So what's your response to the people that are like, oh, WWE is stupid because it's fake, it's all staged?
I like to say, yes, it's predetermined. It is a performance.
Sure.
But like you can't fake the moves.
Yeah.
You can't fake them. It's not like it's AI out there,
No.
like robots. Like that's actually us. We are getting slammed on the mat, and I think like a lot of people, whenever they go to touch the mat, they're like, "Oh wow, this isn't soft."
No,
like
yeah.
you can literally hear it. If you go to a live wrestling show, like you can hear it. And
Oh,
like
sure.
whenever people are like slapping you across the face, like yes, you might know it's coming, but they're still slapping you.
Yeah,
Right.
like it
So
still hurts.
Still gonna hurt, yeah.
it still hurts, yeah.
Oh, God.
And I mean, I would just tell those people, if you want to see that, then go watch some MMA or something.
Yeah, I know,
'cause,
literally.
I mean, they're both entertaining,
Oh,
but
very entertaining.
They
they're
are.
different.
No,
so
very different. No, 100%. Okay, so I guess moving forward with all the business stuff then. So going back to like your early years, you said you kind of just knew that you wanted to build something, right? Because your parents, you were very inspired by them. So from an early age, did you feel like you always had a direct path to what you wanted to do? Or was there like a lot of figuring out during the process?
Oh, I still don't know what I want to do. Like,
Okay,
well,
okay.
obviously, like field is the thing,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I think you should be constantly evolving,
Of
and
course,
I
yeah.
think I've pivoted so many times. Like, I mean, whenever I was really young, I wanted to be an actress, and then I wanted to build my own brand, and I wanted to have a clothing brand, and then I wanted to be an athlete and a WWE superstar. And like, you're constantly evolving, and you kind of just have to figure it out along the way and decide, what you're going to be most successful in.
Right.
So I don't think I ever knew. I still don't think I know. I never know what it's going to look like in 3 years, because 3 years ago today, I would have never guessed that I would have been here.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
exactly.
you thought you'd be wrestling.
Yeah,
so it's-
things are always changing, and I think you got to keep growing and evolving.
I think that's really
Absolutely.
important for people to hear, because there are a lot of people, as I'm sure you've experienced and your peers, that when they're graduating high school or even still in college, they feel really lost. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm here, but what the heck do I do? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if school's for me. I don't know if corporate's for me. So for the people who feel lost, what would be your advice to them?
Go all in on something. I think the people that are most successful go all in on something.
True.
And the people that feel lost oftentimes, I think they fall back on, oh, I want to do this, that, and that. And they're trying to do 3 things at one time because they're afraid of failing. But the reality is you're going to fail at all 3 unless you really lock in on that one thing.
So true.
And I think I always wanted to do so many things at a time, and I wanted to do everything, but
Yeah.
once you really lock in and focus on that one thing, you are going to flourish so much more.
I think
Absolutely.
that's 100% true.
Well, and for you personally, what do you think the hardest part was about going and starting this business?
I think just the hardest part, I think, is believing in yourself.
Yes.
Good
I love
answer.
it.
Like,
I stand on that.
It really is, and you can say you believe in yourself, but to truly believe in yourself and like risk it all, it is so challenging and so hard. But you really just have to trust. You have to trust the process. You have to be willing to go all in.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's easy to doubt yourself, especially if you have a day where, I don't know, maybe sale isn't going as well for us, if we're not getting as many views one day. It's easy
Right.
to let your mind go to that area of, my gosh, was this a good idea? But I totally agree with you. I think like believing yourself all the way through to see it through, that's crucial.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many people believe in you. If you don't believe in yourself, you'll never succeed.
True.
I wanted to ask you too, because obviously you've been so successful, and like we said, fitness journey and your business. So what are your non-negotiables for yourself that you're like, I have to do this no matter what, that you think have helped you thrive in both of those areas?
Sleep.
Sleep. Love that
So
answer.
real.
Sleep and eat.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm like a toddler. Like, I need my sleep. I need my food.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but I think just having like, non-negotiables that you do every day. So like for me, my non-negotiables is I'll read the Bible, whatever it may be, pray,
Yes.
spend time with God. That's non-negotiable. I will work out. And I will just work on my mindset, and then also just fuel my body with good food. I think you're a direct reflection of everything that you consume, whether that be
agree.
the media you're consuming, the food you're consuming, your relationships that you're consuming.
Yeah.
It reflects directly through you. So I think, being able to stay grounded in those things, first of all, will help you in your business.
I love that. I think that's really powerful for people here, especially going on the faith thing, right? Like reading
yeah.
the Bible and everything. We were just speaking to this heart surgeon yesterday that we interviewed that I was telling you about before this, and he said that was something that was very important for him, like through his whole entire journey, is having really strong faith and being connected to God. And we were talking about how he's an older guy, like, what do you say, like in his late 50s?
50s, yes.
Sorry, Dr. Grieve, if that's off a little bit. But anyways, over time, and I think you would probably agree with this, that, you know, the younger generation, they kind of lost sense of having a really strong work ethic and faith, and they've kind of strayed away from those things, like really core values that, in my opinion, breed success. Because I think a lot of really successful people you talk to, they'll kind of stand on those things. They'll say, have strong faith, you know, believe in whatever you want to believe in, you know, in this case, God, right? And have a relentless work ethic and a will to never give up. Those are just like three really common things that I think we've heard, you know, that have obviously transpired into some pretty incredible stories, like yourself, right?
Yeah. Well, the faith just gives you, you know, set of morals to hold yourself to and standards. So I totally agree with you on that one.
Yeah. I also think it helps you stay grounded, because in business and in everyday life, you know, you're going to experience those highs of highs and lows of lows. And if you can kind of keep that middle ground with your faith and what you believe in, it'll literally make you unshakable.
It's so true.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
And like you said, working out every day, because it just clears your head. I mean, I know if I'm ever stressed, like if I go on a run or do anything, it really does clear your head to think. I mean, all positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can never stress enough saying, look good, feel good. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, so if you can prioritize your fitness, your health, nutrition, I think that is, to your point, a direct reflection of how you function on a day-to-day basis, you know, because we're all human, so we all have to get up in the morning and look ourselves in the mirror. If you're not satisfied with how you look, I think that affects people. I really do, you know? So we only live one life, and why not maximize that, right?
Right.
Why not strive to look our best?
Right.
And so going off that a little bit, because I think you have so much good advice to give people in terms of just people who want to make a change for themselves, you know, a fitness transformation, whatever it might be. Someone who struggles with diet, what are some tips that you would give them to be more consistent with eating healthier?
Keep it simple.
Yep.
And don't fall for the TikTok ads about these magic pills and trendy diets. Like, God gave us food. Eat meat, vegetables. It's like, for me, I always tell people it's all about quality and quantity control. So if you can control the quality of things you're putting into your body, so like lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, like real foods, and then you also control the quantity of it. So that doesn't mean, oh, I'm eating a jar of all natural peanut butter. Like that's not going to be quantity control. You have to kind of dial in both of them, and if you're doing both of those things, you can't fail.
Absolutely. What's that small quote? It's like, eat to live, don't live to eat.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said,
exactly.
Just consume things that actually fuel your body, what will keep you going throughout the day. I could not agree with you more.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me whenever I was growing up is I thought I was eating healthy, but I was just eating so much food, you guys. Like so much food. I didn't understand a serving size. Like I was just a garbage can. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm eating a cup of almonds and like I'm eating all these healthy things, but like it's just too much.
Well, at the end of the day, it boils down to a very simple equation: calories in, calories out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That too.
Of course, there's better things to consume than others, you know. But whether you're eating 1,000 calories of ice cream or 1,000 calories of like a healthy, well-balanced diet, obviously, yes, there are differences. Don't get me wrong, but you can still be in a deficit with both, But I love that advice, because I think a lot of people do just overcomplicate it, They think it's rocket science when it's really not,
Yeah.
Another thing I always say too to people is just try not eating out, because I think that's a very big temptation for people.
Yeah, unless you're at Fuel.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, wait a second.
This is the place to come. If you're going to eat out, eat at Fuel.
Yeah.
No,
But
I do agree with that.
I was referring more so to like the fast food restaurants.
Yes,
right?
yeah. And whenever you are eating out, there are things that are outside of your control. You don't know what they're cooking your food in.
Right.
You don't know a lot of those things. You don't know how many calories can be in your salad dressing. That's another thing that I would do. I would go and go get a salad thinking it was, you know, super healthy and lean, but then the salad dressing has 70 grams of fat in it. And it's like,
Oh my gosh.
you have to just be cautious of those things and pay attention. And the last thing I want to say on this subject, I guess, is nutrition isn't cookie cutter, and what works for you isn't going to work for me. And I think it's very important to figure out what works best for your body and also what your goals are. So like if somebody's trying to lose weight and I'm trying to put on muscle, like maybe our goals aren't the same, so we shouldn't be doing the same eating plan. So just listening to your body and figuring out what works for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I
agree. Well, okay, I guess back to a business-related question. So you're opening your second store. Is there anything you're doing differently with this one than you did like the first time around?
Oh my gosh, so much. Like I opened my first store April 26th of last year.
Wow,
I'm opening
congrats.
this one April 7th of this year.
Let's go.
So it's just a little under a year, and I've learned so much.
I'm sure.
The biggest thing is systems for me, is just trying to figure out the best systems, the most efficient systems to set my employees up for success. Because at the end of the day, like, having two businesses now, I know that I can't be everywhere at one place. I really wish I could, trust me. But I think just learning to set up systems in a way where the business can kind of run itself whenever I'm not there is going to be like the biggest game changer for me.
I totally agree. Yeah, I'm sure. So how do you go about that, by the way? Like hiring employees, because our mutual friend that we know, Cam, shout out Cam Ruck, he really struggled with that. It's like how to scale his business and hiring employees, because for him, he's a very hands-on person. He knows all the ins and outs of his business and what he does. But when he had to like step away a little bit to allow the business to scale so he could focus on some other things while they did like the nitty-gritty work, like it was a very big challenge for him. So for you, was it a big challenge? And again, just how did you go about it?
Yeah, that's the hardest part as a business owner, is to kind of let go of that control, because you want to be doing everything, you want to be involved, but finding trustworthy people is obviously hard. And I've been very, very lucky. Like all of the girls that work for me are amazing. I have two managers now, so I have one at Cranberry and one at Wexford that kind of see over everything, and then under them I have a few leads, and then under them are like our base employees, but they're all so great. I think it all comes down to how you're leading too, and I try to lead them, from the front and lead by example, and I think that's the best way to kind of train them. But I've been so blessed. Like all of the girls that work for me are really, really special.
Oh,
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
This is kind of taking it back again, but if someone wanted to get into this business in particular, do you remember like ballpark startup costs that you had, especially with like the retail spaces? I know that can be pricey. So what do you recommend someone should save up if they were to get into this?
To start like a cafe?
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
I would say minimum $100,000.
Okay.
Because it depends on what your build out is too. I was lucky in my spaces I came into were set up in a way that I could kind of work with, so I didn't have to like do any huge demolition or full on build out.
That's really nice.
My third store now, I'm building another one in Lawrenceville.
Oh my
cool.
God.
That
That'd be
one,
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That one is a full build out, so it's like a monster to attack.
Wow.
But I would recommend anybody wanting to get into like a cafe space is to try to seek out a property that's already in a structure that you want, and then from there you can kind of pick out the equipment that you want, which is still very pricey, your furnitures and fixtures and all that stuff. But I would say minimum probably $100,000 to start.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Good to know.
Because with this type of stuff and with this line of business, it's kind of like a real estate business too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Like to a degree, because obviously.
Yeah, well, it depends. Yeah, you're leasing a building or you're buying a building, so that goes into it. But also, like, equipment is expensive.
I'm sure.
And you have to get all of that started and poured into it. So it is a big investment, but if you do it properly, it can be pretty profitable.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I was going to ask you though, so I mean, that's incredible. 3 stores. What has worked best for you marketing wise? Because I follow Fueled on Instagram too, which you can do, and you have a huge following on there. So what would be your advice with that too? The content, is it the consistency or the style of content? What do you think?
Yeah, I think for us, like, marketing is very unique in a food industry because I think it's all about almost like word of mouth through people. So like if people see their acai bowl and it looks beautiful, they're gonna post about it, and then all their friends are gonna see it and wonder where it's from. So I think a lot of ours has been truly organic. I do post like a few times a week, just to try to get more eyes on the business. But I do think it has been word of mouth. Like, I tell the girls, and I have this written back there, make your bowls Instagram worthy. Like, make everything look Instagram worthy, so the customers will take photos of it, post it, tag us, and that's kind of how your word of mouth, or your business spreads. And I think like referrals and people just talking about our product, if you have a really good product, you can't fail.
No, it's so true.
That's
can't.
great advice, because as
it will sell itself.
It will.
Totally. I live by the phrase phone eats first at like dinners.
Exactly.
So that's so smart. That makes sense.
So again, somebody that wants to get into this business, right? Well, maybe they don't have 100K saved up. Just explain a little bit about how you actually got started. I know you have 2 parents who are entrepreneurs themselves, So did you have help? And for somebody who doesn't have that help or anything like that, how would you recommend they go about building a business?
So I did not have any help. I completely self-funded.
Oh, wow.
I poured everything into this business.
Jeez, that's
and
really impressive.
Really
Congrats.
just bet on myself.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, if you do want to start a business eventually, just making sure that you're saving your money now for that future business that you want to start. Other than that, I mean, you can always take out a loan. I personally haven't done that, so I don't feel like qualified to give that advice, but I do think, just do your research, and everybody's financial situation is different. I was lucky enough to kind of grind whenever I was younger, and be able to save money so I can do this. But I think just, finances are a huge part of your life, so just making sure that they're all in check before you, make a big decision to start something.
Yeah,
Totally.
Absolutely.
And even though that's risky, it's obviously in a way probably so motivating, because you were like, as you said, everything you had was tied into this business. So in your head, you were probably like, you know what, I'm making it work. I have no other option. You can't half commit. You're all in.
Right.
So I'm sure that helped.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So aside from business, going back on your fitness journey a little bit, I'm sure. So, by the way, congratulations! You're our first female guest. So
yes.
Am I?
Yes,
I'm honored. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, for the female audience out there, there's so many, Riley. I know you can probably attest to this, that are so lost with where to begin in terms of getting in really good shape and everything. And I said, like, creating those habits and everything. So what's some advice you can give to them on how to get started and actually keep going? Because the whole discipline part of it is like a whole nother thing. It's one thing to get in there for a week or 2, right? The whole New Year's resolution. But so can you just speak on that a little bit?
Personally, would love to know your routine as well.
Yeah.
So I have 2 things. The first one, follow a plan.
Okay.
Don't go into the gym blinded and just make up things. You want to follow a plan no matter what it is. If you need a plan, message me. I will give you one.
Let's go.
I would say also with that plan, stick to it. Even if you start with 2 days a week, like stick to your plan. Whenever you are sticking to a plan, you're building confidence in yourself to keep coming back. I think that is so important.
Yes.
The second thing is, don't feel like you have to be ready to start something. Don't feel embarrassed to be in the gym or to try something because you don't know how to use a specific equipment, because in reality, nobody cares about you. Nobody's watching you. They're all worried about themselves.
So true.
That is true.
So don't feel like you have to, know every single piece of equipment before getting started. So I would really, really just encourage people to find a plan and stick to it, and you know, in order to grow, you're going to be uncomfortable. So just push through that pain and stick to it. Like, you just have to start, because nothing's going to change if you don't start. And if you don't do it now, you're going to look back 3 months from now and wish you did it 3 months ago. So you just got to take action and make things happen.
It's so true.
I'm curious your opinion on too. So like, as a female, I don't know if you hear this a lot amongst your friends, but if they want to start like toning, a lot of girls are afraid to use heavy weights because, you know, they're afraid, oh, am I gonna bulk?
Right.
But I've heard that's a myth. So what is your take on that? I'm so curious.
I 100% agree it is a myth.
Okay. Yeah.
I think females should be lifting weights. It's going to speed up your metabolism. You're gonna burn fat faster. It is so important, especially as you age, to just continue to lift weights. The bulking comes 100% from your diet.
Oh,
if you're eating proper quantities and lifting weights, you will tone up.
Totally.
Now, if you're eating at a surplus and lifting weights, you're going to gain weight.
Yep.
So if a female's looking to kind of lean down and tone up, you need to probably eat in a caloric deficit, but still lift weights, because you do want to build that muscle, because you can't be toned if you don't have any muscle.
Yes.
Very true.
Right? So I think it's really important to just lift weights and eat proper nutrition and make sure you're following a plan.
I love that. I needed to hear that personally, because that's something I would struggle with. I'm like, do I do the lightweight, high rep? But then I feel like I don't notice as much as, you know, if I do start lifting heavier. So thank you. I needed that for my own sanity.
Yes, and you need to push the weights. Like, push yourself in the gym. Yes.
Absolutely.
It makes, like, I'm telling you, lifting weights just changes your body composition, makes you feel better. You get this like confidence from it too.
Totally.
Yeah.
And temper, like I said before, look good, feel good.
Yes, exactly.
And once you start seeing the results, it truly is an addiction.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can agree to it, you know?
And I know we were all talking earlier, another podcast we all love, Diary of a CEO. He had someone on who's like an expert in your brain health, and she actually was talking about how lifting weights helps prevent dementia.
Yes.
I mean, no one quote me, but she was an expert on the show. We'll have to find the exact episode. But yeah, so it's interesting to hear you say that as well.
Absolutely. There's so many health benefits from lifting weights.
Totally.
Just out of curiosity, what's your personal routine in the gym?
So I lift, I'll tell you my full routine.
Okay, let's do it.
Mondays legs, Tuesdays shoulders, Wednesdays cardio and abs.
Nice.
Thursdays we're back to the legs.
Awesome.
Friday we're back day.
Yep.
Saturday legs, and then Sunday I like to rest, maybe go for a long walk, stretch. Maybe like once a week I'll throw in Pilates on one of those like lighter days.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm lifting in the gym 5 days a week, but I do think it's important to take like, you know, a few days too to rest and recover, because if you're not letting your body heal, you're not going to grow. So but yeah, I think for females you should be lifting like 4 to 5 days a week. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just get in there, push some weights, and you'll feel better after, for sure.
I agree, because I think right now a big trend, which I'm guilty of as well, is just, you know, the hot girl walks. That's like all we do, and then we forget to incorporate those weights.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I've noticed too, now that I have started lifting again more, I swear that's helped me tone my stomach more than even just doing regular ab workouts.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I like rarely ever do abs. I think you get more core engagement like from deep in your core whenever you're doing like squats, hip thrusts, even like you're doing like back workouts, but you're still engaging your core. So I think and this is something that I've learned in the gym in my years. It's all about that mind-muscle connection. So if you're doing, you know, back squats, yes, you're working on your lower body, but like you're also engaging your core. You're gonna build that core strength.
So true.
And then whenever it comes to diet too, you're just gonna shed that fat, and then that's when you'll really see all the gains.
See, there you go. Just another reason to lift weights.
Exactly.
Yep.
So this might be a controversial take, and I'm curious your opinion on it. So in my opinion, I think it's kind of easier for girls to get in shape and like look good than it is for guys.
What?
I was gonna say not at all, and I know
okay.
Gina's mom's shaking her head right now too.
Explain.
Yes.
Okay, and here's why I say this. Okay, I think in general, okay, if most girls can just find some discipline and, you know, leaning out, right, and like focusing on their diet, right, I honestly think like most girls will look pretty good. Whereas guys, if they do that, what are they called? They're called scrawny, like they don't look good really at all. You know what I mean? They might be like skinny fat or whatever. So for guys to get in like legit good looking shape, it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. Now, to get to your level, let's say, right? Okay, and to get to a certain level, yes, it 100% takes a ton of effort, a ton of consistency. But so my point of that is again, not to like a crazy level, but just to look like good. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Yes.
But I think there's a difference because I think what you mean to say is like, it's okay for girls, like people think it's okay for girls to be skinny, but it's not okay for guys to be skinny.
That's how I took it as.
Kind of.
Yeah.
To look fit.
To look fit.
To look fit.
So you're thinking like guys have to put on more is what you're saying to really, for someone to look at them and be like, oh wow.
In my opinion, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But I will say, in general, I think like females, we're just naturally, we have more body fat on us. So I do think, especially for, maybe it depends what you're working, like abs especially. I mean, I know all of us struggle with like the lower abs. That's
Yes.
it's really hard. Yeah, that's stubborn down there. So yeah, it depends.
Fair.
And I think everybody has a different opinion of like what fit is and what fit looks like too.
That is true.
So it's like, okay, so for fit for you, like, are you saying, is fit like that leaner runner style or is fit like the big bodybuilder style? Because there are so many different types of fit and it's like,
Totally.
what look do you like? And that's what you should kind of lean into. Like for me personally, I want to look like a real life action figure. Like I want to
love
look
it,
like,
yes.
you know what I mean? So
100%,
I'm
yeah.
every day I'm in the gym, I'm like, oh, like I want to have like capped shoulders and like glutes and just look like really lean and toned, and that's the look that I like. But for somebody else, they might like that really slim look, or somebody else might like a lot of muscle. So I think it just depends on what look you like, and then just lean into the things that will get you there.
I'm
Totally.
glad you said that because that is very true. There's different definitions of what fit looks like, you know, because everybody has different standards, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know?
yeah. Very
So-
brave of Cody, though, for asking that with 3 females in the house.
Hey,
Right.
Listen. Sometimes you gotta ask the controversial questions.
I do give you guys props for being jacked, because I know, like, I'm trying to put on muscle too, and it is hard. It
Yeah.
is very hard.
Yeah.
So I do understand that.
Yeah,
It is
absolutely.
very impressive whenever a guy comes in with muscle.
For sure. No. Well,
They're all going to be lining up now coming in.
It is impressive.
no, for
I don't know.
No, yeah. Again, look, anything to achieve greatness, right? Like it takes a lot of hard work, guys. Like there's no doubt about it. It's just like an umbrella statement I was kind of talking about, but I was
Totally.
curious to hear your take on it and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There you have it. Well, then, and Gina, what are you most proud of personally from your journey?
I'm proud of the dedication I've put into this. Like, I've put so much work into building Fueled. Like, the hours I've put in, the time, the money, the sacrifices. I'm just really proud of how it's all come to be, and also I'm so proud of the impact that it's had. Just like seeing people come in and like learning about macros, like on our protein shake menu, we have the macros listed, and people will come in and like, oh, what's a PCF? And we, educate them, oh, it's protein, carbs, and fats. And I'm just so proud of like the way that we've been able to impact the community to learn about that, and also just be able to, have healthier options for people on the go.
That's incredible. Props to you
Really
for
is.
that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, Gina. So if someone were to only take away one thing from your story, what would you want that to be and why?
I would say bet on yourself.
Oh, okay. I love that.
And I think it's because if you genuinely have belief in yourself and do take the action, you can make anything possible.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you've
Love
proven
it.
that through what you've done.
Absolutely, you have.
Yes. All right. Well, then, Gina, the last question we have for you is, what is your definition of success?
My definition of success would be making an impact. I don't see success as anything like financial. I think just being happy is kind of cliche, but I think like if you want genuine success, it's like, how are you impacting your community? How are you impacting your family, your future kids? And I think just, even your friends, your coworkers, your employees, just making a good impact, kind of leaving the world a better place than as you found it. I think that's what true success is.
I love that. I think that's great advice.
I can say you definitely are. So
Thank you.
Well,
Absolutely.
Gina, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank
We really
you.
appreciate it today. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yes.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Gina, thank you so much again. We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
And
Thanks
Stop
for
and
having me.
Fueled, new locations
Yes.
open.
Yes, Stop and Fuel, guys.